I sat down to go through the legends from the new set, Thunder Junction, and I have to ask myself, have we lost the thread here? Sit back, relax, get a cup of coffee. We're going to rant over the art from this new set. I sat down to build a deck, make a video about it, but a powerful ennui gripped me. So here we are. Man, I am telling you, people are downright fatigued with this set. I'm hearing a lot of exasperation from folks on the internet. The set doesn't seem to have a ton of interest, and the story's really jumping the shark. This brand new plane doesn't even have its own dudes. They're retreading characters from Ravnica and Eldraine. The storyline, with everyone being everywhere, is falling flat. Seems uninteresting, and the payoff is Jason Vraska adopting a Pixar reject and walking off into the sunset. That story, man, I'm telling you, as far as I can tell, just from reading the cards and contextual storytelling, just isn't grounded in anything. You know, it appears to be yeehaw. That's the totality of the story. Yeehaw, brother. And for some reason, Ashiok is pretending to be Jace. Didn't we just do the exact same thing in Kaldheim, with Tybalt masquerading as Valky, god of lies? So there are 53 new legends in this set. I think anyway, man. I counted them up, but whatever. Listen, if there's 54, you guys are going to come at me in the comments with a big old brick. The big score and associated commander decks, you know, are also included in that. That seems to be a lot to me. I know not everyone is as entrenched as I am, but this is exhausting. It's got to be exhausting for the people designing the cards and for newer players. Everything is so unbelievably pushed out the door as fast as possible. Now the worst part, from my point of view, is how bland most of the legends are. There are a few standouts, but most seem to be retreads of things we've seen all too often. You know, I gotta go to work, dude. I don't even have time to read all of these, let alone dissect them, build sample decks for the ravenous hyenas out there. I'm usually hyped to do so, or if not hyped, at least enthusiastic about making something new. So as of the writing of this, it's April 10th. We've had 4 Murders at Karlov Manor precons, we've had 4 Fallout Commander precons, and 4 more Spoiled Commander precons for this set. I might be just in the weeds here, but if you were in the market for a precon, wouldn't you have bought one already? The market for these things isn't infinite, and the money people have to spend isn't infinite. If you're a newer player, which is who the precons are aimed at, how much disposable income do you have? It's barely been 4 months here, and we're into our 12th precon. Say you want to build your own commander deck in addition to the precon, you know, you have some great idea for something. That's another $100 at least. It's an absolute deluge of decks, and the demand seems to be slowing down. Now, as a commander player and a content creator, I'm happy people are getting into the game, but they're not getting into the game and selling all their worldly possessions and abandoning their families and packing up their commander decks to follow Command Fest around the country like the Grateful Dead, dude. They aren't selling their children to buy precons. I mean, seriously, how many games have you gotten in since 2024 reared up and bit us in the nuts? I've played like 7 games probably, and I'm pretty enfranchised. I haven't even got to test some of my newer brews yet, some of the Fallout brews. We all have lives to live here, folks. But here we are, 12 precons in, with all their attendant new cards, new flavor, and fun yet to be had with the decks I just built. One thing that people discount, I think, is that people have a lot of choice when it comes to spending their money. I mean, throw away the PS5 games that are coming out, but you know, even if they want to spend their money on Magic pre-constructed commander decks, 3 out of the 4 Doctor Who decks are under $40. Now, the Ixalan commander decks are a different story, man. Velociraptor is like $100, and the other 3 are less than $60. Those are a little pricier, but keep in mind, these just released in September, about 6 months ago. The Karlov commander decks, featuring some of the best reprints in recent memory, are selling for under $40 as we speak. If I was a newer player, there's a ton of value there, with lots of impactful reprints and basic building blocks and a few popular archetypes, including Reanimator, which is my personal favorite. Now the Fallout decks, they're all around $40 to $50, you know, just a few months after release. These are all pretty nice precons with some unique and interesting flavor and mechanics. And the Wilds of Eldraine commander decks are both under $50 or $75 for the pair of them. I mean, let's go back a little bit. We'll go back in time, dude. March of the Machine last year had some really amazing designs in the main set. I'm a fan of that set, for sure. There are unique mechanics, there are these team-ups in defense of the multiverse with cool legends, powerful effects. Those commander precons, all 5, can be bought as a set for $176.50, which is $35 each. Or you could just get one, but the Cavalry Charge deck is an outlier at a whopping $85. The point of all this is that there really isn't a rush to go and buy a Commander Precon from the newest set. There's a stable of decks you can get at similar price right there on TCG Player. If you really want to get wild, the Lord of the Rings Precon set sells for $200. That's $50 each, which is close to the price at release. The FOMO has worn off, and there is inventory if you want it. And once again, very similar for the Warhammer 40k decks. $179.70 for 4 Diesel Commander decks with plenty of new designs. Lots of love poured into the mechanics. They're powerful. A lot of fun out of the box, man. I am a fan of those decks. But even being an entrenched and avid player of Commander, I still haven't had time to open 2 of those boxes that I bought at release. I built 4 Commander decks out of 2 of the Precons, the Ruinous Powers deck and the Tyrannid deck, and then I got washed away in a wave of new stuff. Now, I'm reading a lot about demand being down for the set, and especially for the Commander decks, demand is down. You can't push out 12 Commander decks in a span of 4 months and then be surprised that, oh, I'm all surprised. Geez, nobody wants to buy my Commander decks, dude. We don't have any money left, brother. It sounds like I'm kvetching here, and I am, but there are some bright points in the new set. I don't want to sell it short. I think some of these cards have a lot of character, and it really shines through in cards like Calamity, Galloping Inferno. 4 red for a legendary creature horse mount. It's a 4/6 with haste. Whenever this guy attacks while saddled, choose a non-legendary creature that's saddled at this turn, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step, and then repeat this process once. Pretty powerful. I think this is a banger of a budget commander. It relies on non-legendary creatures, and that alone is refreshing. It has haste, comes down, starts making a silly amount of copies of creatures who dare take a ride, dude. I like everything about it. Then you got the gold tie-eye Joaquin here, perfect shot, I don't know if that's how you say it. Red-white for a legendary creature, human mercenary, it's a 2/3, not bad stats there. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to a creature equal to that creature's toughness, draw a card. Has an X and tap. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage plus X instead. I like that this doesn't say once per turn and all that kind of thing. This is a very unique build around. Use your lightning bolt effects, your non-combat damage effects, and draw cards in a very unique way in Boros. You can load this up with creatures that like getting damage done to them, and cards that damage creatures, man. I can't help but think it devolves into a deck we've seen before though. How about Vraska the Silencer? 1 black and a green for a legendary creature, Gorgon Assassin. It's a 3/3 with Death Touch. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return that card to the battlefield tapped under your control. It's a treasure artifact with tap, sacrifice it, add 1 mana of any color, and loses all other card types. Weird. I like this a lot. Pays off interaction and removal, can be a really mean commander. You do get the ETB effects and the static effects of those creatures. Say you get a Solemn Simulacrum. You get the land when you sack it, you draw a card, but it's not a creature, it's just a treasure out there. It's interesting, kind of leans in the Golgari artifacts. Love cards that kill on ETB or have like Massacre Worm come in, kill all those 2/2s. You can pay 1, get 1 of them back. I like this card. I do not like this art though. The showcase is infinitely better than this ratchet cartoon version of Vraska. Then how about this guy, Felix 5 Boots. 2 black, green, and a blue for a legendary creature, Ooze Rogue. It's a 5/4. This is from the Commander deck. Menace Ward 2. If a creature you control dealing combat damage to a player causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Very specific. This is really a secret ninja deck. We've seen this before, but we have seen Ishin in Mardu colors. He doubles attack triggers while Felix doubles combat damage triggers. I am interested in this if only to explore the better combat damage effects and see if we can build a coherent ninja deck with old Felix here. Now all in all, I try not to be negative. If you want sensationalized negativity where the sky is always falling, everything is absolutely insane every single day and Magic is dead, even after years of saying Magic is dead, then go watch the Magic Historian, dude. I'm inherently not that guy. I just want to have fun. Like the titular girls in the Cyndi Lauper classic, girls just want to have fun. What would you guys like to see? Precon upgrades? I don't think anyone cares. Scratch builds around some of the more interesting commanders? Set reviews? Want me to do an OnlyFans for shoulder hair enjoyers, brother? Let me know in the comments below. It's Nicky G signing off.